Traitors versus Betty Washam. Danks reaction. Dank reacts to Traitors and the Mean Girls versus Petty Wetty Betty and the Missouri Police Department. Let's see. Traitors amongst and Dank Williams featuring Not So Crazy Lady versus Batshit Betty. The Missouri Police Department and Sheezy escaped from Sheezy. What up, man? What up? Let me get a number 5.
Okay.
With the large Dr. Pepper.
Okay. No, that's right there.
That's it.
Okay, appreciate it. Have a good day.
All right, you too. Okay. Let's see what other titles could we make? Mean Girls versus Washam Warriors.
It's gonna be 978.
Oh man. Okay. Okay. There you go. It's the thank you. Let's see what other ones. Batshit Betty featuring Blad versus Traitors featuring Krabby McCrabface. Every situation, every scenario, Betty's side gets demolished. That's just facts.
Bacon, egg, and cheese River combo?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. You too, man. So I do want to do like a serious reaction. I guess Traitors live stream was 6 hours, bro, and I'm not sure if she covered. I mean, there's enough content out there to cover Betty's disgusting actions to fill up a fucking whole speakeasy 24-hour stream. Or an almost 48-hour stream. He just wasn't warrior enough to make it 48 hours. Poor guy. Even the money couldn't motivate him. As much as he tried. Fucking turd. Yeah, have you guys ever seen a bucket of turd? Well, I'm sure you've never seen it, but can you imagine a bucket of turd? That's pretty much what Sheezy is. He's just like a bucket, just sitting there, empty, and then all of a sudden you throw some turd in it, and it's a Sheezy. Turns into a Sheezy. My device is hot. Well, quit playing. Quit playing with me, bro. Quit playing with me, bro. You gotta fucking get some AC going. Here, get some AC going. Holy shit. So, again, I do want to do a little, because I was pleasantly surprised, and I wasn't shocked about the reactions in the chat. You know, hopefully you guys can hear me. Nobody's chatting. Is that my fault? Is that my business? Is that my doings? Did I cut the chat off? Did I say no chat today? No chat allowed. No chat allowed today. What the hell is this? We got wheelchair people working here. Anyways, so I don't know. But anyways, yeah. So Traitors did a really long live stream, and like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if the whole thing was about Betty's disgusting fucking actions. Do you know what I'm saying? But like I said, I've gotten here. I've gotten to about maybe 45 minutes through it, and the chat is pretty lit. I mean, can't deny the chat. The chat is fucking lit. But there's no comments here, and that's kind of weird. I'm feeling lonely, lonely, lonely. It's Friday, though. It's Friday. You ain't got the job. Oh, Sheezy has a job. Dank was wrong the whole time. Sheezy has a job. Selling shit that you stole from fucking Toronto buildings and businesses on Marketplace, I guess, is considered a job in Toronto. I don't know. But let's see. Okay. Okay, dokie. Okay. And here we go. Oh, shit. Cringe Fest 2023, past predicts future.
This video is old just because it's old is irrelevant? Back that up. Hold on. TikTok right now. Scroll down. You'll see a post of I will keep coming. Libby Easter, Tartine, Tink My Bell, Sailor B, SG. Appreciate y'all coming in tonight. Being here. Jack's Hair, Brandy T, Crazy Acres, Half Pint. Hey, what's up, Audrey? I'm glad you're here. Audrey, I know you've been going through it, and I really hope you're doing better. Yeah, give me a minute. What's up, Munch?
So, let me just give my pre-assessment of Traitors. Like I said, I just got done watching about 50 minutes of this, and the reason that I stopped it right now is because she did just stop right now and said hi to somebody that she hasn't seen and hope them well. You know, and I just want to show that there is humanity in the Mean Girls. Yeah, I know. I said that. I did say that because Traitors is one of the fucking. She's one of the meanest girls you can run into from the Mean Girls, and I think she would agree with me on that. And when I say meanest, I don't mean like shitty person. What I mean is, well, if she latches on to something, she won't just cover it. She's not the one that does all the, you know, she's not the one to do all the research and all that stuff. She brings context to the situation via parody a lot, and I like that about her. I wasn't able to say that before because I didn't really get along with her, and I'm not going to give her her flowers when I don't, you know, when I don't really get along with the person, I guess. But I do always, I always keep it real and give respect when respect is due. But you know, just because somebody's really good at parodies doesn't mean that, you know, they earn my respect. What she's doing right now is earning my respect. Okay, and I hope that, you know, her, as a matter of fact, okay, I really appreciate Traitors because she mentions a few things about the way I make my videos. You know, so it meant, I'm serious, there was a few comments that were made in there that really meant a lot to me. And that's why I want to cover this and stuff, because people may think, oh, you know, comments on YouTube channels, you know, oh, everybody, you know, people go real life and people are so hurtful and all this stuff. And you know what? If you let the stuff get to you like that, then that's what, you know, you put yourself in that position. I understand people go real life. I understand that clearly. But we got to understand that we're tuning in to these YouTube channels. We are involving ourselves in these chats. We are giving our, you know, our opinions and stuff, and some people will throw out slanderous things. Some people will throw out complete falsities. Some people are just there to, you know, make somebody look bad because they like another channel and stuff like that. And so, you know, you get really mixed up in the weeds when situations like that happen. So you don't really know who is who when you're looking at a chat. You know, you don't really understand who they are until you actually take the time and review their stuff without biased eyes, without prejudging, and that's hard to do. But I've always, I mean, it doesn't even, it's not even about trying, because it's just the way I am as a person. And I got to give it to my parents. I got to give it to my upbringing, because I don't run around and try to disrespect everybody that I don't get along with. I don't, my agenda is not for everyone to think just like me. I just want people to understand that there are people on this platform, and especially in this community right now, that will say one thing and then completely be Dr. Jekyll, Mrs. Hyde. You know, and sometimes it takes a while to catch that, and sometimes it takes, you know, just a minute. And everybody's different. Everybody sees their truth in their time, you know. That's why a lot of my subscribers are past subscribers of old channels that I used to not get along with, or that I used to expose, like John X Army. Okay, you know, a lot of my first subs came from me exposing that whole deal. That was a big ass channel. Now people know, and you can see that my chat is full of ex Betty Washam subscribers, and you know, there's, you know, people run around and say, oh, this person's buying views, this person's buying subs and all that stuff. But you know, you can't fake the fact that there are people in my channel that have actual real life stories to say about this lady. So that's very important when you're looking into things like this, and you're, you know, trying to figure out who, what, where, and why. A lot of years have gone by. You know, there's been so many situations, and for Traitors to put in this much work, and her agenda is not to prove Dank right. Trust me, it ain't that. Fortunately for me, you know, Betty is a disgusting fucking individual, and I don't have to match her disgustingness, because then it turns into lol's cow content, and then people start saying, oh, they're LARPing and shit like that. You know what I mean? So I've always tried to keep my integrity. Yeah, I like to trigger off sometimes, because I understand that a lot of this, you know, going through this stuff and I'm sure Traitors will agree now that she's delved into so much of this Betty Washam content, you gotta find humor in this stuff somehow, some way. Okay, now I'm not saying dark humor. I'm not saying you need to laugh at what this lady has gone through when she was, when she was younger. And just to touch on that really quick, she did not lie about that. She's not lying when she says that there's a landmark case in Missouri, and that it involves her grandfather, and him molesting and raping his 2 grandkids. So that's all true. He was sentenced to like 20-something years, and he got out in 2. He got out on technicalities. It's something that it was just one of those things where the lawyer completely spaced it, and so did the judge. And after his conviction, someone caught it, and they addressed it, and they let him out. And they did it. They made it a landmark because of now, when you're confessing to something, you have to go in front of the judge and actually say the story, and then you have to also write it down on an affidavit or whatever. It's, a proof of admission type thing, and you have to be very detailed, or else they won't give you that plea deal. They won't give you that deal or whatever. So in that case, he admitted to doing what he did, but he never actually made a statement on it, and they convicted him and all that stuff, and because of that, they let him out, because he didn't have his day in court where he could explain everything that happened in his own words. So now it is law, when somebody is taking a deal on something like this, they have to have a written confession. They have to completely detail it, and the judge and everybody has to approve of it, or else they won't get that deal. But they spaced it on that case, and he got out. So that's the truth on that. As a matter of fact, check it out. Watch this. Right there, Ennis versus State, 1994. You see it right there? See that? I can't see the chat, so I'm just going to turn that off. This is Justia Law right here, so this is an official website. Okay? And Missouri Court of Appeals decisions, 1994, Ennis versus State. He is appealing his conviction. Missouri Court of Appeals, Southern District Division 2, November 28, 1994. 772 Barbara Hope. Office of the State Public Defender for movement appellant. He's moving for an appeal. Jeremiah Attorney General. Presiding Judge Alvin Ennis, the one that's making this motion, was sentenced to 2 concurrent 10-year terms after pleading guilty to 2 counts of sodomy. Thereafter, he filed a timely motion to set aside the judgment and sentence pursuant to Rule 24.035, in which he alleged, among other things, that the trial court had violated Rule 24 by not determining that a factual basis existed for the guilty pleas. Okay, so when somebody pleads guilty, I mean, you could be dealing with somebody that's just pleading guilty to cover up for somebody else, that, or there's always there could be so many reasons why somebody pleads guilty and they really weren't guilty. So here, it says that by not determining that a factual basis existed for the guilty pleas. The motion was denied after movement The motion was denied after movement by appointed counsel requested that the court take judicial notice of the files in this matter and movement's motion based upon the record. So they're saying, his lawyer was saying, listen, you guys need to go back and take a look at the fucking court proceedings back then, because they didn't give him the opportunity to prove that on a factual basis with his testimony, what he did was true. So that's what they did, and so movement was charged by an amended information with having deviant sexual intercourse. So this is what he was pleading guilty to. Okay, so movement's sole point on this appeal is that the motion court clearly erred in finding that a factual basis existed for his guilty pleas. He argues that the only factual basis for the charges which was identified by the trial court at the time of the guilty pleas was movement's admission that he had sexual intercourse with his 2 granddaughters. He contends that such an admission was insufficient to support a conviction of sodomy under 566-60 because there was no factual showing of the required element of deviant sexual intercourse. Okay, so just because he said that he did it doesn't prove that he did it, and they need to prove it through his explaining it in detail. And they didn't give him that opportunity, and I mean, he fucking got out on that, dude. That's crazy shit. Movement was charged by an amended information with having deviant sexual intercourse with each of his 2 granddaughters to whom he was not married and who were each then less than 14 years old. In a document entitled Guilty Plea, hereafter referred to as Exhibit A, signed by Movement and received by the trial court at the time of the plea, Movement said that he understood that he was charged with sodomy, for which the penalty was 5 to 15 years, that he had a preliminary hearing at which he was represented by an attorney, that he had consulted about the case with his attorney, who had explained the offense charged in the information and the punishment that can be assessed, that he was satisfied that his attorney had properly represented and advised him, and in the information, and that he was pleading guilty on his own free will. He was guilty as charged in the information. Exhibit A also required Movement to state what he did to cause the charge to be filed, to which he responded, I had sexual intercourse with, and then the 2 granddaughters' names. That is not proper, sufficient evidence or required exhibition. So they really tanked it on that. At the time, let's see, I got 3 more minutes. At the time of his guilty plea, Movement waived formal arraignment and entered a plea of guilty. He told the court that there had been ample time for him to discuss the case with his attorney and that he was pleading guilty voluntarily. He answered yes sir to everything, blah blah blah. We can go over this later on, but okay, so at the end they let him free because, again, there was that gap in the evidence. Let's see. Anyways, so yeah, I don't even know if this is working right now, but and I kind of went off topic there, but you know, I can't stand Betty, but I'm a truther, okay? And this is the truth right here. So can I share this? Or why can't I share this? Share. Copy link. Go back over here. Show chat view. Oh shit, look at, there's my fucking chat. Son of a bitch. Holy cow, there's 18 of y'all here. Oh shit, yes you are, Dank. My 22-year-old loves you. Oh shit, thank you so much. I don't even know where that came from, but that's really, really awesome. And I think Tags told me something about that before, about your son listens. What's up, Wyatt? Vulture escaped. I got to get back to work, but hopefully you guys were able to hear that. And I appreciate your comments. I'll go back and watch your comments later on because I couldn't see them while I was doing that. But and I'm sorry that I didn't have all the time to read that whole thing. But again, the point of this lunch stream was and is that I appreciate Traitors amongst. I really do. I haven't gotten through the whole thing yet or whatever, but you know, just because I don't get along with Nicolina doesn't mean that I can't be honest about how I feel about her friends. You know, just because of you know, there's some people on Nicolina's side that, you know, I don't think I'll ever want to have a conversation with or whatever, but I'm pretty okay about most things, you know. I understand what these mean girls and what their agenda is, and I don't think it's evil. You know, they may seem super fucking ruthless sometimes, you know. And then, well, when you got people like Sheezy, who you know, I mean, you say one fucking thing about him and he just cries like a baby for hours, you know, then they do seem like, you know, I could see how you know, people may think that they're, you know, all these awful women and shit like that. But like myself, I've been trolled by them for a while. Not every single day or nothing like that, but you know, when I've been having Nicolina issues for a while, and they troll hard as fuck. But you know, I'm not the type that's gonna let somebody else says affect me like Sheezy does. You know, he's got really thin skin, and I don't. Always been that way, and so I think that's a positive, because I think like Traitors is trying to do right now is she's trying to bring together this community for the greater good. And I mean, you know, if you know anything about Betty Washam, there's no good that comes out of her. And the thing is, if she didn't run around saying that she's saved all these kids and that she's a child advocate and all this shit, then she'd just be another lulz cow cringe fucking person. But she really does run around and spread these fucking lies in order to gain attention and sympathy from real survivors and victims. And that is the fucking saddest part, and the sickest part, and the most important. So anyways, hope you guys have a good day. I'll see you after work.